If you're using a credit card to get a cash advance, you're probably getting soaked. Because ordinary cards charge you interest. Right from day one, which is why you should use the Discover card. Just pay your full monthly balance and a small transaction fee, and we'll give you cash, interest-free. So you can avoid taking a bath. It pays to Discover.
Healthy. A lot of foods are wearing that name. And yeah, they may have the numbers to back it up. But do they have a taste that'll make you want to eat them? Now this is Healthy Favorite Smoked Turkey from Oscar Mayer. This is the real thing. Nothing funny. It's real turkey breast. It's naturally low in fat and only 12 calories a slice. And the taste? Well, the proof's right here. New Healthy Favorites from Oscar Mayer. Who else would you trust?
Other news overseas today, the Russian official heading up the search for missing U.S. prisoners of war said today that 4 unidentified Americans were held at a Soviet psychiatric hospital in 1953. He accused the KGB of withholding information. One of the former Soviet Union's biggest clients, Cuba, is still dedicated to communism, but now that its major benefactor is gone, Cuba is consorting with the enemy to avoid economic disaster. Dennis Trout is in Havana.
To change Cuba, Fidel Castro is traveling. This month, Brazil. Next month, Europe. 2 weeks ago, 120 executives from Latin America, Europe, and the United States met in Havana to discuss Cuba's development prospects. The collapse of the Soviet Union, its old partner, has put the Cuban economy into a tailspin. Factories are running at less than 50% capacity. Workers are idle. More layoffs could come at any time. Havana needs new markets, raw materials, and oil. In the past, 85% of this trade was with the now extinct Soviet bloc. Cuba's ever-present lines and crowded buses have worsened. New gardens are springing up everywhere, even in the backyards of schools. That's to offset food shortages aggravated by the 30-year embargo by the United States.
It deprives them of their natural partner. It deprives them of a direct source for all sorts of products.
The most visible loss is in oil, apparent in the reduced auto traffic and the importation of 1 million new bicycles from China. Cuba now produces only 15% of the oil it needs, but the Castro government hopes that offshore oil exploration, led by France, will soon change that. Spain is leading the way in joint tourism investment designed to bring in dollars now. And Cuba brags in a documentary of its new biotechnology industry. Sales to Brazil and Russia earn more for Cuba than the famous Havana cigars.
Less than 10 years ago, there was nothing in Cuba in this sense.
Sugar remains the major export earner, with new revenue coming from Canadian investments in nickel mining. That could improve conditions for Cubans, whose standard of living is still better than their neighbors in Central America and the Caribbean.
That is one of the reasons why, in spite of the tremendous difficulties that the economy has had, that they're able to maintain the social and political stability.
President Bush does not intend to let up.
And we continue to keep the pressure on to tighten the trade embargo.
As recently as last year, Havana's slogans argued for socialism or death. Fidel Castro now says he wants capital, but without capitalism. Cuba is changing. Dennis Trout, ABC News, Havana.
Coming up next, Ray Gandolf with sports. Ray, what do you have on tap?
Carole, some bad basketball news for Cuba. Also have a little baseball and a talk with the oldest Olympic wrestler in the land.
If you don't get to sleep, I won't get to sleep.
Nitol safely helps you fall asleep fast, so you can get your Z's. Nitol or a maximum strength Nitol.
Nitol will help you get your Z's.
Let's make good seasons. It's so much better when you make it fresh.
I'll say.
Good seasons. You make it fresh, you make it best.
Hi, it's code 4148, not seen Andrews, power grid, not seen. 81 clear. 814 clear.
things around your house that need batteries. There's one thing that needs a good, fresh battery, most of all. See your Allstate agent for a free home fire safety brochure. And please, check the battery in your smoke detector often.
Why don't you take a break and meet me?
I can't. I am in the middle of the most romantic novel.
Call you later.
Later? Romantic? I'll show you romantic. Domino's, I'm coming in.
Come into Domino's now for our 99-cent carry-out special. With any pizza at the regular price, get a one-topping medium for 99 cents.
What?
Domino's? Ronnie, my Romeo.
Nobody knows like Domino's.
You like pizza at home?
Rebate. Now's the time to buy built-to-last appliances from Frigidaire, because you'll find big rebates on Frigidaire refrigerators, washers, ranges, and more. Like this energy-efficient refrigerator with CFC reduced installation. It has adjustable gallon-deep bins, so big and tall things stay out of the way. Plus lots of adjustable glass shelves and clear view compartments. Best of all, it's not just a fridge, it's a Frigidaire. So hop on over to your Frigidaire dealer and pick up something new for your pan.
Peter Jennings reporting, Who is Ross Perot? Monday at 10, 9 Central.
They ain't seen nothing yet.
Then meet Perot in a national town meeting live Monday.
Now let's go to New York for sports. Here's Ray.
Thank you, Carole. Well, the big red machine rolls on and on. In Cincinnati, Chris Sabo had 3 hits, scored 3 runs, and drove in 3, including the game winner, as the Reds swept Atlanta and took a 4-game lead in the National League West. At the basketball Tournament of the Americas, it was Michael to Magic to Prince Charles, as the U.S. Olympic team beat Cuba by 79 points. One of this country's best hopes for an Olympic medal in wrestling is a 37-year-old father of 3 who has a whole other career on the side. But on the mat, Chris Campbell is the king.
It's my show, so when you come out on the mat, you got to live by my rules, which means you have to be beat.
5 seconds.
That's the way I like to think when I come out on the mat. But I want to make sure that I command that area.
And so it was that Chris Campbell won the Olympic trials last month in Pittsburgh. 12 years and 3 Olympiads after he did it the first time.
When he won and we knew that he was going to Barcelona, his whole body turned into a smile, and he ran over and grabbed me and hugged me and sweat all over me. It was wonderful.
And that was quite a moment, I guess.
Well, hopefully it's the beginning of the moment. Making the team is great, but my ultimate goal is winning an Olympic gold medal, so that's the whole point of this.
The point is that Campbell is 37, and events have conspired to keep him out of the Olympics, starting with the boycotted Moscow Olympics of 1980.
Somebody came up and said, the president's going to boycott this Olympics. I said, you're kidding me. Nobody'd be that stupid. That was my first reaction.
Campbell trains relentlessly for Barcelona, mindful that a knee injury kept him out of the 1984 Olympics. By 1988, he had moved into his other career.
Whether for default, that should be or, not of. Okay.
Campbell is a lawyer, a contract attorney for the Carrier Corporation in Syracuse, New York. Through the Olympic Job Opportunities Program, the company gives Campbell paid leave to resume pursuit of his Olympic dream. It can be tiring.
Washington, D.C. 11th. I'd like to get in before 11 a.m.
He doesn't have time to be a parent every day. However, Chris goes out of his way to make time, special time with each of his kids, and we do a lot of family things together.
Dad's in the middle. Dad's in the middle.
Chris Campbell, attorney, family man, and just maybe the best freestyle wrestler in the world. At 198 pounds, anyway. His company expects him back as a full-time lawyer after the Olympics. But they might get an argument.
If that's their decision, then I'll have to stop competing. Although, truthfully, I'd like to wrestle till I'm 40, because I would love to win the World Championships at the age of 40.
Chris Campbell won the World Championship once before, 1981, when he was 26. Carole?
I remember 26. We'll have our final report in a moment.
What are you doing?
Pouring on A1.
Before? Don't you do that after?
Yeah, but today I'm doing it before instead of after.
It looks different doing it before. Think it'll taste different after? Because before, you did it after.
Try it. Whoa, before you eat it all.
Oh, after you.
A1, it's how steak is done.
It's nothing serious. It only wakes me up a couple of times a week. It really doesn't affect me. I avoid foods that are fried or spicy. I can deal with it. I just take antacids.
If you have frequent heartburn symptoms like acid indigestion or burning in the chest, talk to your doctor. These may be signs of a serious medical problem. Your doctor has treatment plans that can help.
It's only heartburn. I should learn to live with it. Right?
Frequent heartburn. Isn't it time you talk to your doctor?
The White House gave the public its first official peek at Dorothy LeBlanc's wedding. President Bush's only daughter married Robert Cook at Camp David yesterday. Today, the father of the bride called the wedding beautiful in every way. On this Sunday, the British spent the day celebrating their first ever National Music Day. ABC's John Lawrence got an earful.
Britain was alive with the sound of music today, with the songs they have sung for 1,000 years. It was the first ever National Music Day. People gathered all over the country to sing, play, dance, or simply listen. The conductor, Thomas Beecham, once said, "The English may not like music, but they absolutely love the noise it makes."
When the saints go marching.
The Minister for National Heritage, David Mellor, is among the unmusical.
I was doing some vocals with the Parliamentary Jazz Group, singing When the Saints Go Marching In, which didn't require a lot of musical ability, and I don't think we'll ever do it again, but it was all right while it lasted.
Caroline Dixon spent an hour this afternoon singing for a group of elderly hospital patients.
I think music goes through to people. It actually gets through where words or other things don't get through.
John Milton, the English poet, may have said it best. The melting voice through mazes running, untwisting all the chains that tie, the hidden soul of harmony. John Lawrence, ABC News, London.
Repeating tonight's top story, earthquakes measuring 7.4 and 6.5 on the Richter scale hit Southern California this morning, and seismologists fear another strong quake could rumble through tomorrow. More than 100 people were injured today, and one small child was killed. And that's World News Sunday. I'm Carole Simpson. Good night.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source.
Dirty Harry's on one of his hairiest cases ever. Clint Eastwood.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Sudden impact. Sunday.
It might not make a big difference to you that your Farm Bureau agent is one of the industry's best trained. Then again, maybe it will. You might not be impressed that your Farm Bureau agent is all